Hi Soul Fam, I'm Frances, founder and lead practitioner at Four Noble Healing. Today, I'm so excited to be here with you because we're going to be answering the number one question that I get, which is, how does distance Reiki work? A lot of people ask me this question when they're interested in doing a one-on-one session with me, but I have a lot of people ask me this question too because it's kind of a nice way of asking, is distance Reiki real, right? And they're kind of wanting to ask it in a nice way. So instead of being like, that sounds fake, no, they're asking, okay, explain to me how this works. So we are going to be diving all the way deep into how distance Reiki works. I'm also going to be talking about what distance Reiki is. So if you already know what that is, go ahead and check out the timestamp. I'll let you know down in the description below when we're going to be starting to talk about how distance Reiki works. But for those of you who are new to Reiki or distance Reiki, I want to break down what exactly distance Reiki is, which actually means that we need to talk about what Reiki is, because some of you may not know what that is. So again, if you already know enough about those topics, feel free to check the timestamps below. You can skip on over to a little bit later in this video when we're going to be talking about how distance Reiki works. Okay, so let's first start off with what is Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese healing technique that allows a practitioner, such as myself, to channel healing energy from the universe through my body into whoever or whatever I am sending this healing energy into. The purpose of Reiki is really to help amplify the energetic body and clear out any blockages that are no longer serving that body. I predominantly use Reiki to cleanse out the chakra line and realign all of the chakras. I also tap into Reiki energy in order to access different levels of consciousness, and through those different levels of consciousness, I am able to channel information from a person's spiritual team, from the universe, so that I am able to share what is going on in the body. So it's not just about feeling the energy and shifting it and moving it. That's a huge part of it. But for me, the way that I work with Reiki and many practitioners work is also about understanding why those blockages are there. So for example, if I am feeling a block, which for me feels like kind of stagnation or stickiness in my hands, I will feel that in a person's solar plexus, sacral chakra, which is just a couple inches below the belly, oh my goodness, a couple inches below the belly button. So down at their belly button, I'll feel kind of that stickiness in my hands, and I'll know, okay, something's going on in their sacral chakra. That's when I then tap into that state of consciousness that Reiki allows me to access so that I am able to understand, okay, what's there? Maybe we're picking up on a childhood trauma. Maybe it's a past life wound. Maybe they're having a creative block, because all of those things live in the sacral. Then we use the Reiki energy, which is most frequently, or I should say most commonly shared with the hands. Imagine if this is the body, to pull out that block and to recenter and refill the energy that we cleared. Yeah, so that could be a whole nother video on how to actually work with Reiki energy. We're not going to get into that today, but that is what Reiki does. Essentially, it is healing energy that clears out blockages from the body, and it restores the energy so that you move forward in alignment. Okay, so then what is distance Reiki? Well, distance Reiki is when a practitioner who is attuned to the distance symbol, because in Reiki, there are different symbols that you receive during your Reiki trainings and attunements. So if you are a Reiki practitioner and you have not been attuned to the distance symbol, you cannot yet practice distance Reiki. But if you have been attuned to the distance symbol, or if your Reiki practitioner is attuned to the distance symbol, they can then practice distance Reiki, which is essentially performing a Reiki healing on a person or on an object or on a thing that is not in the physical space of where the practitioner is. So for example, I have many one-on-one clients that live in Europe. I'm currently in the United States. The distance Reiki session is exactly the same amount of effectiveness, except we are not physically together. The other way that we use distance Reiki, and we're not going to talk too much about this today, but just to make sure that you have all of the information, the other way we use distance Reiki is to move through space and time. So that distance symbol that I was talking about before, that's essentially what it does. It allows a Reiki practitioner to move through space and time. We're going to come back to that in just a moment. What that means, though, in the context of what we're talking about here, is that not only can we use distance Reiki to connect with a person who's not physically in our space, but we can also use distance Reiki to heal places from our past, essentially moving back in time, healing up, for example, a childhood wound, so that then you are not quite as affected by that wound now in your current timeline. Yeah. So it's really kind of hard for our brains to understand sometimes, but essentially, to recap, distance Reiki is the ability to connect with a person who is not physically with you, and also to move through space and time to heal places that are not currently in this present moment. Okay. So now, how does distance Reiki work? Can I get an open mind here? Yeah? Okay. Amazing. Distance Reiki works, going back to that space and time topic, because time and space does not actually exist in the way that we think time and space actually exists, right? So humans experience time as linear, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to infinity, going from one step to the next. And we experience space in the third dimension and below, first, second, and third dimension, right? But that's really the capacity as to which we naturally experience time and space. So linear time, 3-dimensional space. But in reality, that is not how space and time exist. Space and time are both infinite, meaning that everything is happening all at once, right? So when you think about that, space and time don't actually exist. Yes, of course they do in our brain, but in reality, they don't. We are able to transcend space and time through energetic connection. Okay, now the best way that I can describe this is you do not have to be hugging someone to love them, right? Love is energy. That is what Reiki is too. Reiki is energy. Healing is energy. Love is energy. We do not need to be touching in order to feel, share, or receive that energy. You do not need to love someone. You do not need to hug someone in order to love them. You can love them no matter where they are on the globe, no matter where they are in the ethers, if they have passed on, if they haven't been born yet. The love still exists. The sharing of that love still exists. The receiving of that love still exists, whether you're touching or not. That is the same as distance Reiki. We are able, as a practitioner, to transcend that space and time, feel into your energy, share it with you, you receive it. And we are also tapping into those states of consciousness so that we're able to receive the messages. And now when I say we, I'm talking about me and your spiritual team, your angels and guides who are always with you, who I feel during my Reiki sessions at least, are helping me with this session for you. So how I like to imagine it sometimes is that I am here, you are here, and your spiritual team is right here. So I'm communicating with them. Your energy is communicating with them saying, hey, this is what's going on up here. And then they're communicating with me saying, hey, this is what's going on here. And then I'm sharing the energy with you this way, and you're receiving it from me this way. So it's this beautiful trifecta of energy and love and information that is working with your energy, right? So again, the best way to describe distance Reiki is space and time don't exist, right? Energy transcends everything. That is science, right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It simply moves. So we are just manipulating the way in which it moves. And I use manipulate with a positive intention behind it, not to force energy, but rather to work with the energy. And then number 2, that idea of I don't need to hug someone in order to love them, because love is an energy that I can share and that they can feel and receive. Same thing with Reiki. Okay, awesome. So please let me know if you have any questions. The final thing that I want to leave you with is, if you were hoping to get some scientific research about how distance Reiki works, that does not exist. distance Reiki and Reiki in general, or really any energy work, is one of those things where you really do need to kind of experience it. I call it experiential proof, right? You need to experience it in order to understand it. And in fact, an Oprah Daily online magazine article published an article recently where I was actually featured, and one of their writers did a distance Reiki session with me, and pretty much it was, I got distance Reiki from someone across the country. Does it work? And the opening title, or the opening line of the article, was like, I am a Reiki skeptic, not myself, but this was from the author's perspective. I am a Reiki skeptic. I wanted to try this thing to see if it happened. And I encourage you, I'll leave the link below in the description to go read that article, to read about her experience, essentially that experiential proof. It's one of those things that we can't yet measure, but we can experience. And through the experience, you can understand it and continue to develop your practice with this beautiful Reiki energy. Yes? Okay, let me know if you have any questions. If you do have specific questions, I highly encourage you to leave those in the comments below, because that helps me to then be able to answer those for you specifically. This was just a broad overview of how distance Reiki works. Yes, so any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, and please subscribe. I'm here every single Monday with tarot readings for the week ahead, as well as every Thursday with videos like this, or with Reiki Charged guided meditations. I look forward to seeing you next time.